AI leaders are hustling. Sam Altman is heading to late night as OpenAI feels the pressure.
OpenAI CEO Sam Altman reportedly declaring code red as Google's Gemini steals the spotlight.
Jensen Huang, he continues to shuttle between Washington and Beijing, trying to navigate an impossible geopolitical hand.
Nvidia has been banned from going to China, not to mention China has banned Nvidia going to China. I think we're the first company in history that has been banned on both sides.
And Replit CEO is announcing multi-year deals from the back of an Uber because in this AI cycle, no one can afford to stand still.
Everyone in the organization is becoming a programmer. It's really a new world.
I'm Deirdre Bosa with The Take. AI leaders are everywhere all at once these days. Sam Altman is, as per usual, on the deal circuit, but soon he'll be somewhere new, late-night TV, an unusual place for a tech CEO and a pretty clear tell that OpenAI is entering a different kind of moment. Jimmy Fallon is where you go when you need to reset the narrative with the public. Sure, in tech circles, we pour over the similar web data that shows Gemini's getting more engagement than ChatGPT, but here's the truth, most people, they don't care about usage or benchmarks. They see vibes, and as Sam himself reportedly said in an employee memo, the vibes are rough these days. Altman on late night also signals that AI is really at the center of our culture right now. ChatGPT is OpenAI's crown jewel and its single point of failure. So when the data says users might be spending more time on a competitor's platform, you do something, like fix your core product, put other projects like agents and ads on the back burner, and apparently appeal directly to the masses. Another tech CEO that's been all over the place recently is Nvidia CEO, chipmaker-in-chief Jensen Huang. He was in Washington this week trying to reset the China narrative with lawmakers and the president. Let his chips into China or risk China replacing them. It might even be too late. Jensen admits he has no idea whether China would even accept Nvidia's H200 chips if the US loosened restrictions. So the real question now is how Nvidia replaces that demand. Where does Jensen globetrot next? He's already been to China at least 3 times this year. Maybe it's the Middle East, a major market for deals, and a bet on sovereign AI to fill the gap. Or maybe the US hyperscalers will keep upping CapEx. None of that, though, is guaranteed. And the quicker China accelerates domestically, the more Nvidia's global dominance gets tested. By the way, don't forget the TPU narrative. Google's custom chips are scaling, and Nvidia may ultimately get squeezed on both sides. That brings us to a different kind of travel itinerary. Replit CEO Amjad Masad calling in from the back of an Uber in Dubai to announce a multi-year partnership with Google. Vibe-coding darling Replit, last valued at $3 billion, it's one more way that Google can give its cloud customers access to the product layer. Sure, Google has its own AI coding tools, but they aren't the starting point for most people building with AI. Replit arguably has the broadest funnel in vibe coding, the place where non-technical teams, they go to build, who are increasingly the ones that are driving AI adoption inside big companies. Think marketing or finance staff trying to spin up internal AI tools all on their own. And that brings me to my conversation today with Matt Renner, president of Google Cloud, and Amjad Masad, Replit's CEO. Welcome to both of you. Amjad, appreciate you making the time in a different time zone. Your flight was delayed from the car, but we'll take it. Matt, you are in our time zone, so let me start with you. The backdrop right now is really Google's momentum. Gemini 3, TPU custom chips, this industry-wide question as to whether Google has finally flipped the psychology in AI. Inside of Google Cloud right now, what are you actually seeing?
We're seeing a lot of momentum, right? A lot of customer momentum at this point. Without question, AI has been an incredible few years here as the generative AI momentum has hit the industry. We were in a unique position coming into this period in that we'd already gotten to scale. So we had global support. We could handle customers in all countries. And we felt pretty good about it. But again, we were third in market share at the time. AI has kind of reset the hyperscaler discussion. And we have customers that have come forward that are now making decisions based on an AI partner. Why we are uniquely positioned in AI is we're actually offering we're in a category of one. And when I say that, I'm referring to the fact that we've got a full stack of first-party solutions that start with our chips all the way up through our data tools and our platforms and AI to our models that we produce ourselves. And we couple that with actually a strategy of being open. So we also can support up to 200 different models in our model garden. And we're very flexible to work with everything from other chips, other platforms, other models. So we really do present kind of the best of both worlds, both a first party set of solutions, which are well received, but also the openness to use both. So we've seen a lot of great momentum internally with customers, which have led us to be the fastest growing hyperscaler for the last 7 quarters. And AI has been a huge part of that.
Right, and full stack seems to be like this magical word right now in AI that finally, Wall Street is getting wind of. And so the narrative is really behind your back. Before I get to Amjad on this deal too and what he's seeing, let me just ask you, Matt, are you seeing Google take share from competitors right now?
Well, we're growing faster, right? There's a lot out there. I think the numbers don't lie when you look at full cloud growth. So we feel very good about how we're doing against the competitors. We do feel like AI has been kind of a refresh or a reset, as I mentioned earlier. So we do feel good about that. And we expect and hope to continue to grow faster than competitors. We're seeing incredible customer demand and incredible adoption of our strategy, which is to, again, go back to, we've got solutions for you that are in AI, that are our first party, but we also will provide the openness to leverage other solutions that you may have a previous investment, or you just want some variety. We'll support both. So the strategy has definitely taken hold. We think it's differentiated because we have both, and we're seeing good momentum on the growth.
So Amjad, your vantage point is different. You see the builder layer in real time. What changed in the coding ecosystem that made this partnership with Google necessary right now?
Well, so Replit's vision has always been to make coding more accessible. It's been about what people call vibe coding now. We've been talking about it for over 10 years now, which is more people would want to make software, and AI really showed the world that that's possible. And so for us to achieve this tremendous vision of going from an idea to an app that you're building to a production environment where you're scaling an app required us to build the entire cloud primitives in a way that's super accessible to anyone, even people without coding experience. And to do that, we made this huge bet on Google Cloud. We started using Google Cloud in 2018 when we were still a tiny startup, or like 5 or 6 people. We were in their startup program, and it paid off. I mean, I think maybe it was, for us, even a bit of a risky bet, because Google Cloud was the newer player at the time, but Google Cloud has been moving really fast, and they have really every cloud solution under the sun. And so Replit is really the most complete vibe coding platform, where we have every module you need in order to build a real application, not just something like a toy vibe coding thing, like a real thing you can build.
Right, and that's what we've been talking about today. Like, Replit has sort of the broadest funnel, right? Beginners can use it, non-technical teams. Amjad, I know we've talked a lot about how I've got my 10-year-old trying to vibe code on Replit. But what about Google specifically? Because something that Matt said, he said that, there's optionality, but that's what AWS pitches. That's increasingly what Azure pitches as well. What about Google has made this partnership valuable and necessary to extend by a few years?
Well, there are a few things. One is Gemini, and the set of Gemini models are amazing models. Like they span the entire gambit of really small model. Like Gemini Flashlight is an amazing model. It's like people talk about AI too cheap to meter. It's like Flashlight is a workhorse. Like we use it for code-based search. We use it for so many things. Gemini 3 has amazing design capabilities and amazing reasoning capabilities. We use it for that. So that's one. Google as an AI company and Gemini set of models are very important for us to produce this diverse set of use cases and users. And on the more traditional cloud stuff, I think Google has tremendous taste when it comes to designing these primitives. For example, Google Cloud Run is an amazing container runtime solution that allows us to package anything that anyone makes in any language and ship it over to Google, and Google can run it, spin it up, scale down to 0. And so it becomes very cheap to run for small applications. It's very affordable. We charge $1 per hosted project, but you can scale all the way to the moon. And we have companies on on their way to millions of run rate running entirely on our Google Cloud-based solution.
So that's an interesting point. It's not just about like the single model that is ahead in all the benchmarks right now, but a family of different models. Before we get into more specifics of the deal, I just want to ask you, Amjad, as well, who's using Replit within the enterprise? Like what kinds of teams? Are there technical, non-technical, both? And how sticky is that?
There are two primary use cases. One is for product development lifecycle. So people teams are seeing that, hey, we can have our product managers and designers go all the way to testing with users, as opposed to designing in Figma or Adobe, giving it to an engineer translating into code, and then going back to the designer. There's all these disagreements and communication issues. We're finding that they're cutting down the development life cycle by a lot. For example, Whoop, the fitness tracker. There are customers, and they told us that previously any given quarter the product management team has 100 ideas. Maybe the engineers will get to like 10 of them to try, and maybe they'll ship eventually 2. Right now, the product management team can try the 100 ideas because they're vibe coding, the designers are vibe coding, everyone's vibe coding, and so that really cuts the development life cycle by in some cases order of magnitude. So it's really transformational. The other thing is internal tools. For a long time there was this promise of low code, no code, and I don't think that promise was really delivered on in a major way. Those programs were always kind of clunky and didn't really solve the business problems that companies were trying to solve. But with Replit now, anyone in the organization, we see people from HR, sales, marketing, everyone spinning up their own internal tools. And we actually integrate with BigQuery, we integrate with Databricks, with Snowflake. So people are building on top of their existing data platforms. And so that's automations, agents, data applications. And so everyone in the organization is becoming a programmer. It's really a new world.
Right. It used to be sort of the job of software engineers, right, to use AI-first coding to make them more efficient. Matt, I wonder if you're seeing the same thing among Google Cloud customers. Has AI-first coding moved away from just the engineers to marketing, sales, human resources departments, as Amjad is seeing?
I think one of the things we definitely are seeing is the move to the enterprise. And a lot of this agreement actually, and we talk about the expansion of our current agreement. We've already been a primary cloud for Replit, but signaling the move to enterprise. So not just the individual coders that are out there building applications, but full development organizations that are now using vibe coding as a material part of what they're bringing to bear to drive solutions. So we're seeing a lot of movement in the enterprise. And a lot of the focus of this agreement, and frankly, our continued agreement with Replit, is to focus on the enterprise. And we've had a great history at a Google Cloud level based on the fact that our products are incredibly scalable and secure to survive in the enterprise. So we're looking to utilize everything from our marketplace to our field organizations to work with Replit to continue to move forward from that perspective.
And Matt, I know Google has developed its own internal vibe coding products. Why push Replit's?
Well, I think it's no different than the rest of our strategy, right? I think we support virtually all of the vibe coding platforms that are existing, period. We have different degrees of partnerships depending on our tenure and the focus. I would tell you this is one of our primary partners. And when I look at Replit, that sets it apart is the history we've had together and frankly, the dedication to Google Cloud relative to as their primary cloud. So we have a very consistent strategy, which is we're going to provide products, right? And to your earlier example of AWS, yes, they provide optionality, but they're not providing the first-party products, right? So we're going to provide both at all levels. But I will say we have a very strong partnership here. And by the way, it's a very big part of our strategy is to continue to engage and be proactive and work together.
Okay, let's spell out sort of what this specific partnership actually means. Matt, how deep does it go? Are we talking compute, co-development, distribution, something more binding? And I also wonder, Matt, why not put money? Why not take a stake in startup like we see many of the hyperscalers are doing in this AI era?
Yeah, I would say a couple things there. I think the primary messages that we've been landing in this new relationship, or put it this way, expanded relationship, which has already been primary, The first was to just build on our backbone of startups across the board that we're working with, right? All 10 of the top 10 unicorns that are in the AI space run on GCP. 60% of the total ecosystem in AI in startups runs on GCP. So playing in this area is pretty comfortable for us, and a lot of that has to do with the tech we provide, right? Tech knows tech is a comment we've made as to why we've had success with digital natives. We tend to be a good choice there. This specific agreement, when we talk about it, has a couple of focuses. One of them we mentioned earlier, right? We've already had a relationship when you look at some earlier models of 2.5, you look at Imagen 4, some things we've worked with in the past with Replit. But 3.0 is coming on the scene in a major way. We've had tremendous demand for that, and bringing that to the platform is pretty important. But I would say that the last difference in this relationship that I think is amplifying, I mentioned earlier, which is it's to break into the enterprise and take a more meaningful approach to utilize everything from our marketplace, which you talk about distribution, right? That's a structure that's in place, but also get our field engaged where we can help with customers utilizing Replit in the enterprise, right? And breaking into those opportunities. So this is more of a focus than anything else, but it's also the addition of 3.0 to the arsenal, if you will, but also building on our past success.
I mean, you guys have not been shy to take bigger swings, put down hundreds of millions or billions of dollars into companies. You have a stake in Anthropic. You hired the Windsurf CEO after the deal didn't go through with OpenAI. So, how do you decide between where to put in money and how to just do a partnership?
Google invested in our last round. Their future AI fund invested in our last round.
Okay, that was their future AI fund, part of Google proper.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yes.
Correct.
Then I guess the question is, why not a bigger stake? Yes, or why not sort of accompany this with $1 billion stake or something like that we've seen from other companies in this time?
We're not raising that much money. The cool thing about Replit is we've been, fairly capital efficient. Actually, I tweeted about this a few months ago. We have the capital raised from the last round plus the round before that in 2023. And so
Amjad, you're disciplined then. Even if Google wanted to give you money, you're saying we're good?
We're not raising, is what I'm saying. I mean, there's a lot of VCs knocking on our door. And so we're so happy with our relationship with Google, and we're always open to expanding our partnerships in more ways. But I think right now the goal for us and Google is to make enterprise vibe coding a thing, right? Like we want to show the world that these tools are actually going to transform businesses and how people work. Like it's really a new way of working. Like people, instead of people working in silos, designer only do design, product manager only write PRD, salesperson only does outreach. Now anyone in the company can be entrepreneurial.
And Amjad, I just wonder, you've always been sort of model agnostic, right? You serve the customer, whatever model sort of works best for what they're trying to accomplish. Have you seen a change with Gemini 3? I know that typically you use a lot of Claude, right?
Yeah. So we consider ourselves an agent research lab. And so that means that we want to build the best software engineering agents so that people can focus on the creative act of solving business problems. And that means we're going to use the best model for the best job. So we use a society of models, right? So like I said, we have Gemini doing a lot of search and reasoning over code bases. And now Gemini is doing a lot of design for us. It's really an amazing design model. So if you go to Replit and try design mode, even if you've never coded any before, go build a personal website. It's fantastic. And we use VO3 for the videos. We use Google's Imagen. It's like Google built like an amazing set of creative tools. I don't think that's really very well discussed. So in addition to reasoning and other things, it is really AI suddenly not, people make fun of AI slop. Well, design now is no longer slop. You can actually produce really high quality work. So, we have a deep partnership with Google. Anytime they have a new breakthrough, we're going to test the models. We're going to eval them. We're going to either plug them into existing use cases or create entirely new use cases around them. And we'll do the same with other models.
Right, image generation certainly important to your customer base. So I don't know if I'm with you on slop. I'm still seeing a lot of slop out there. Maybe it's just getting better.
You should try. You should try our new thing powered by Gemini 3. It's really awesome.
Okay, I'll see. I'll get back to you guys if it changed my thoughts. Okay, finally, before I let you guys go, I just want to zoom out a little because we're in this moment where the market is questioning durability. You've got OpenAI's challenges, Nvidia's geopolitics, China's acceleration. Matt, is any part of this AI boom being overbuilt?
Look, at this point, I like our strategy when it comes to this, right? I think there's no question, and I could talk to our strategy, right, relative to looking at capacity, looking at power, looking at where we go. The concept of backlog that's out there about the contracts and expected revenue, we're taking a very methodic approach, which is to make sure that we're spreading that over numerous customers, right? To make sure we have balance and durability to that demand. And second, making sure it's proximate, meaning things we can see, meaning in the coming years versus far out from relative to that. The strategy seems to be holding and our numbers continue to climb, which is great. But again, I think that there's been a lot of theories out there on trying to figure out whether there's a bubble or other scenarios, wherever that might be. I will tell you, we see a ton of demand that's both balanced and proximate right now. And we feel really good about our future. So, and I love our strategy.
Amjad, same question from the builder layer. Does the usage that you see justify the hype, or does anything about this moment feel inflated?
Yeah, there's some things feel definitely inflated. Like every other week we see like a, Replit copycat was spending a lot of VC money on ads and just spinning the wheels. You can build something very simple, very easy. You can vibe code a vibe coding tool very quickly, but ultimately the depth of the platform that we built, the safety, the security primitives that we built, and the deals like we're doing with Google are very important to deliver the kind of to deliver real safety and security for vibe coding. So certainly it's very noisy. But you might have seen the numbers coming out of Ramp. Replit is the #1 growing enterprise tool in the world, not just in AI
and
coding.
Google
in any
is
AI.
the #1 for AI spend, which I thought was funny.
That's
Makes
right.
This
So us and
sort of...
Google, we're dominating. That's why we're partners. Winners like
so
winners.
So you guys both at the top of the list. Yeah, partnering. Okay, well, both of you, I know we're running out of time. Amjad, we'll let you get back to it on the other side of the world. Matt, thank you so much for taking the time. Appreciate it. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.